What if I told you you could get 1,000 times more views while actually working less? And the reason I say that is because we actually did it. So a little bit of a backstory. So we were uploading on YouTube and we were averaging like 60 views per video. And this is after like a whole week. So 60 views on the videos. And these videos would take between all of us probably 10 to 15 hours to actually produce. But with this different strategy, we went from taking like 15 hours to produce to now the videos take less than 3 hours to produce. And now we have over 15 videos that have over 100,000 views. We've hit 57,000 subscribers, $46,000 just from YouTube AdSense, and 11 million long form views while working a whole lot less. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down, give you a little backstory of how we did it and show you the strategy that you can implement today so you can do it for yourself. Okay, so now before I share kind of the big block strategies that we actually were able to do that, I need to go over kind of the couple things that we did before we did this so that we could actually do that. Because I think if you miss these steps, these are kind of the foundational things that if you don't do, then you can't just skip to the more fun kind of strategy stuff and then cheat code your way to having more success on YouTube. So when we were starting, actually it took us 450 days to go from 0 to 10,000 subscribers, which is a long time, and that's not a crazy amount of success from it. And a lot of people, they would probably stop by the end of it. But all our goal was at the very beginning was, one, to be consistent. So we wanted to upload at least one video a week. And then from there, we wanted to learn with every single upload. So we would actually go through and I would write down, review the video, see how it did, even write down the analytics of how many views it got after a week, what the click-through rate was, what the retention looked like, all those kinds of things. And then from there, I used those analytics to say, okay, what is one thing that we can improve for the next video? So we did that for literally over a year, 450 days of just continually improving and doing that over and over again. So then video number 1 compared to video number 50, we had gotten so much better and we have learned a whole lot. Because that's the other thing that I've noticed is the more that you can actually step out and make YouTube videos, you're going to learn so much more just by making your first 5 videos compared to watching endless tutorials and endless kind of research things that you're watching on YouTube. So that's what I would say. Just start uploading, get your first 10, 20, 30 videos out there and just learn from what you're doing. But after we did that, we did kind of the foundational work, then going from 10,000 to 20,000 subscribers, instead of 450 days, it actually took us 40 days to do it. So there's a handful of things that we learned over that kind of first period that made the next 10,000 subscribers much, much quicker. So next, I'm going to show you what those big things were. All right, so the first big breakthrough for us actually came from content strategy rather than the specific things that we were doing inside the videos. So one of the big things that we realized is people care about what they care about. They don't necessarily care about what you have to say. So the thing that we did in terms of content strategy is we stopped saying, okay, what would be a good YouTube video to make? But then we started asking, okay, around the subjects that we talk about, what are people already interested in? And then we use that to what we call trend jack, where we frame a video around that specific subject and then tied our content to that. So, and a lot of times this is how it worked, where people would come for the thing that they clicked on and the thing that the video was framed around, but then that would give us opportunity where we could still talk to our audience and teach the same things that we were trying to teach, but it just made it a lot more accessible to more people because we were talking about the things that they were interested in. So for you, I would say always be thinking about the question, what's in it for them and why would they watch? So that is something that you can implement today, just changing your content strategy and thinking about for your dream clients, what are the things that they're already interested in and how can I frame my videos around those? All right, so the next big change was around the actual format of videos that we were making. So like I was saying before, the videos that we were making, we would say, okay, what is a good YouTube video to make? We would create kind of the outline for it, which would take quite a while to script it out and think very strategically about how the video is going to flow. And then we record it straight to the camera, kind of like this. And then what I would do is I would spend 6 or 7 hours actually editing the videos with B-roll, with animations, with sound design, all these different things. And then the videos would still get like 60 views. So this wasn't really working for us because as this wasn't my entire job and the thing that I was doing, so I'm like, okay, how can we get more results with the time and resources that we have? Because the current way of doing it is not working. So how we ended up actually changing it was changing the format that we did it. So similar to the first point is, one, we found something that people are already interested in, and then we actually framed our content and even used their video as kind of that centerpiece that we were speaking around. So the things that we were making videos about where Christianity intersected with culture. So we'd find a video, an article, or some conversation that was already going on, and then we would just teach around that subject rather than building something totally from scratch. So for you, think about, okay, with the limited time, resource, and effort that you do have, what would be the best use of your time so that you can get the most views possible? Or if you have a business, how do I do it where I can attract my dream clients, nurture them, and convert them so that they are ready to buy from me? All right, the last big change is probably the 80-20 when it comes to being successful on YouTube, because this took us from getting a couple hundred views per video to hundreds of thousands of views per video. If I've learned anything over the last 3 years of doing this, it is that titles and thumbnails are the most important lever that you can pull if you want to get more views on YouTube. So for us, I'll actually tell you a story on how impactful it was. So we had a video that was even using the new style where we were talking about something that was very relevant and a lot of people cared about. But we uploaded the video, and then after the first day, the video was only at 200 views. But in my head, I'm like, I feel like this video has a lot more potential than 200 views. So what I did was I actually changed the title and thumbnail. And then after that change, the crazy thing was, within an hour, the video went from 200 views to 1,500 views. But now that exact same video, without changing any of the content, is now at 650,000 views just by changing the title and thumbnail. So that shows how impactful this is. That's why the best YouTubers, they actually, before they make any video at all, they say, what is going to be a really clickable title and thumbnail for this video? Because if you don't have that, what I see so many people running into is they have really good content, but they don't have a really clickable title to get that in front of people. So then no matter how good your video actually is, if no one clicks on it, then no one's going to watch it, and then your video is going to flop. So if you're starting out on YouTube, or if you've been on YouTube for a while where you're making content that's very good, but you're not getting the views that you think the video deserves, I would highly recommend spending your time getting good at your titles and thumbnails, or hiring someone who knows how to make really clickable titles and thumbnails so that your videos can get the views that they deserve. Now, all this advice is well and good, but if you miss one thing, this is never going to work, because the biggest thing that I see that stops most YouTubers from YouTube success is actually never starting at all. So in this video, I break down probably my best advice for any business owner who wants to start YouTube this year. So go watch that video, and I'll see you next time.